Hello FutureMakers, welcome to TeacherPreneur. If you ever commit a mistake, there are only three things that you can do about it. Admit it, learn from it, and do not repeat it. Sometimes I wish life came with a control plus Z, but sadly, we cannot undo our mistakes in real life. We humans are bound to make mistakes. And trust me, life is too short to learn from your own mistakes. So it's better you learn from others' mistakes and minimize yours. As a teacher, even I have committed many mistakes in my first year of teaching. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you mistakes that I made as a first year teacher. If you don't want to commit the same mistakes and learn from me, then I'm sure you want to watch the whole video till the end. And without any further ado, let's get started. The number one mistake that I regret doing is being inconsistent or not having a routine. Because of this mistake, whenever I used to enter the class, everything used to be haphazard. There was no schedule, there was no routine. The students also didn't know what to expect, and I also didn't know what to teach. I basically had no agenda, and that is something I wanted to change. So after about 3 months, I realized this mistake of mine and I changed the way I taught. Now I had a fixed schedule about how I would teach in the classroom. I would always come, greet the students, revise what we did in the previous lecture, introduce the topic for today, then start teaching, and then have a discussion based teaching. With this, I got clarity of thought, and the students also knew exactly what was happening in that 40 minutes of lecture. This made things really easy for me, and I highly suggest that you also set up one such routine for your own self so that it's easier for you to maintain a routine and be firm and follow the same. Mistake number two was being afraid to ask for help. As a new teacher, I was so stressed that what will people think of me, how will they perceive me, or how will they judge me, that I did not ask for help. Especially on days when I was assigned a task that I did not know how to do, I still did not ask for help and kept on doing my way, which made more mistakes and piled up my own work. Just then, my grandmother suggested that why don't you take help from your fellow teachers? And I was like, do I ask them for help? And my grandmother was like, yes. And the next day, when I went to school, I asked one of my senior colleagues to help me with the task. And you won't believe, the task was for just 30 minutes. Just by spending 30 minutes with her, I could complete the whole task that I was been worrying about since almost a week. That day, I realized that asking for help does not make us small. In fact, it makes our work easier. Sometimes we have to keep our fear and ego aside and ask for help. In this way, you will receive amazing insights, you will bond over with your colleagues, and also you will understand that everybody over here was once a learner and they are willing to help you if you ask for help. The next mistake that I would usually do is not being too strict or too kind. Understand that kindness and strictness are two sides of the same coin, and as a teacher, you must be able to control both the roles very well. Being kind is easy, but if you be too kind, the students take you for granted. And being strict is difficult but important to have a firm image of yours in front of the students. One of my mentors explained to me that kindness is respecting the students in front of you, and firmness is respecting your own boundaries. And both of them are equally important in a class. For example, one of the child was really shouting at me during the class. As a first year teacher, I got afraid. But when then I remembered this advice, I told the child that I understand that you are upset about something, but the way you are talking to me feels like disrespect to me. So, for some time, let me go out of the class and let us handle this later. And came back, and then I sat with the child separately to solve the issue. And I told the child that the way you are talking to me feels like disrespect to me. So, can you just sit down and can we talk about this later after the class? He obeyed that thankfully and sat down. I trust you, I like you, and I'm on your side only. It's just about your way of communication that upset me during the class. So now you're all free to tell me whatever you felt. And that day, I formed a firm bond with my student, and that student still calls and messages me. And that was one of the best advice that I had taken. Another mistake that we all teachers tend to do is to think that we are the teachers and they are the students. We are here to teach and the students are here to learn. I'm sure all the teachers who have been in the profession for a long period of time will be able to tell you that it's almost the other way around also. Yes, you are the teacher. Yes, you are here to teach them about books and the knowledge that you have. But every batch and every student of yours will definitely teach you something new. It might be about their story, it might be about their struggle, it might be about how they face hardships. All of them have unique capabilities, and the way they deal with their life and problems will tell you a lot about your own life. And I still think that this generation is usually misunderstood. हमारे time पे, if we didn't agree with something, we would never talk about it or we would leave the room. But this generation stands for their own opinion and they will always express it and be firm on it. And this is one quality I've learned from most of my students, and I'm trying to imbibe this in me too. So, as a teacher, you can learn and you will learn from your students as well. The next mistake that especially fresher teachers make is not being a team player. I understand that you want to fit in the puzzle of your work, but you don't know where to start from. But it is really important to make friends in your workplace, to start talking with all the teachers around you. Everybody is a toolbox of resources and everybody has new strengths. They all are different and unique in their own way of teaching. You can learn something from each and every person that teaches in your school. And trust me, even from the colleague that you hate the most, you might be able to learn something great. Grab any opportunity that comes your way, maybe in the canteen, in the staff room, in the coffee chat, or in the conference room. All these are places where you will find your colleagues. Talk to them and you will form a bond with them. Even after you leave your school, they will be one of your best teacher friends. So trust me, start forming bonds around, and those teacher friends will be your biggest motivators in your teaching. One very important mistake that I really wanted to mention in today's video is reteaching. Whenever a child is not understanding the way you are explaining, we teachers usually tend to re-explain the same thing. We usually tend to say the same thing once again and we expect the child to understand. You as a teacher must understand that आपने जो पहले पढ़ाया वही आप फिर से repeat करोगे तो बच्चे को समझ नहीं आ जाएगा. The point is you need to explain the same concept in a different manner so that the child understands. So instead of reteaching, I suggest you to re-explain the same concept in a different and a better manner so that the child will not have a doubt henceforth. The last mistake that I did as a first year teacher is to ignore student centered learning. As a new teacher, I thought that it's my job and my duty to put all the information that I have in my students' head and walk out of the class. I thought my mission was only teaching what is there in the books in the best manner possible. What I did not know is the best memories are made beyond books. As a teacher, when you talk to the students, when you understand their psychology, when you understand the kind of thinking that they have in their head, and when you go to their level, your teaching will be much better. Gone are those days of chalk and talk method. Now, these days, along with whatever is there in the books, we need to tell them how to apply that in real life. We need to give real life application based examples about where the concept is being used. The students want to know the utility of the concept, without which they don't want to accept any kind of teaching. Children are curious, and we teachers need to ignite that curiosity and respect it. Do not ever make any child ashamed of asking a doubt. As a teacher, if you do not know, you can ask that child to come back later and make sure you answer that query, but do not ignore the query. You never know, the next Einstein will be from your class. One more thing that I would like to mention is that as a first year teacher, you think that whatever we learned in our B.Ed college, the school system will work exactly like that. No, each school is different. Each school has a different way of teaching and maintaining systems. What you learned in B.Ed is like a base. It's like a base on which your tree will grow. But every institution has different way of dealing with things. The marking scheme, the lesson plans, the worksheets, the assignments, the way they have exams will be different for all schools. So you need to adapt according to your organization and just don't imply what you learned in your B.Ed college, because that was an idea of what could be, not what is. Sometimes you'll have to unlearn to learn, and sometimes you have to relearn to learn. So learn, unlearn, and relearn, and learn again. So that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching the whole video. At the end, I would only like to tell you that mistakes are the seed on which the trees of knowledge grow. If you like today's video, do hit the like button. Comment and tell us one of your teacher mistakes, and we'll be happy to learn from all of you. Share this video with your teacher friends and family, and subscribe to TeacherPreneur and press that bell icon to be a part of our FutureMakers family. See you soon.